right. Let's get this show. And we are logged to. And let's see. Everybody come in. To Cliff 5. And as everybody starts logging in, and it's waiting as graphic. Wait here with you guys. There's Orion's Angel. Hello to Torn Tuesday, everybody. It is a pretty much that you can imagine. Buenas noches. Carlos is here. You're just joining Torn. Tell me where your city. I want these apps.
Hello there, Justin. Hi, everybody.
How are you?
Hello there, good sir. I'm very good, and Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and Happy Kwanzaa, and very happy holidays to you. Here we are, right on the other side of the holidays, and it's so great to see you. Hello, Justin. Are you ready to go over the year 2022?
What a year! It's just love that a lot of names getting are still here. Everyone says,
yeah,
my audience. Hold on.
It is true. Your audio is going crazy, but I'm glad that everybody can hear my voice just
now?
fine. Hello. Look, that's a little bit better. Can I send my greetings to everybody in the chat? Welcome, everybody, to Torn Tuesday. This is theonering.net, your weekly dose of all things J.R.R. Tolkien, hosted by Clifford Broadway, with the most generous co-host and producer here on the side, my best man. If I ever get married, who's my best man? It's Justin Sewell. Ladies and gentlemen, here he is, right here. And look, there's all these beautiful people joining us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, and Twitter, and all over the interwebs. Welcome, one and all, to our merry little corner of the internet. It's good to have you all with us.
Yes, it's great to be a fellowship. Does this sound a little better?
Yeah, well, you kind of sound like Alvin and the Chipmunks a little bit, but it is, at least I can hear you now. At least I can hear you now.
Oh, boy.
So, do you want to see something adorable that I don't know. I just think I'm just being funny. Anyways, or I'm trying to be funny and I'm not succeeding. That's just as likely as anything else. Do you want to see the most adorable custom hot chocolate that I got for Christmas from my friend? It comes with a little spoon with a little gingerbread man, and here is gourmet hot chocolate, gourmet miniature marshmallows in this one, and this is crushed peppermint. So you can make the most amazing hot chocolate and peppermint and marshmallows, and it's a really adorable little gift that my friend made for me. It's got 3 different things to make perfect Christmas hot chocolate. So I'm in the mood for sugar. Obviously, I'm in the mood for sugar, baked goods, anything Christmas. I'm ready to hit all the desserts. I'm guilty as charged. I swear to you, it's a problem at Christmas time. But you know, that's the way it is. Really, that's the way it is. I think I gained a little bit of weight with all the holiday eating. I've been eating like a hobbit lately. I really have been. Trust me. Believe it.
The gift. All of the food.
Would you like me to show everybody on camera the gift that I got for you, or do you want to save it so you can unwrap it in person? Okay, because I think you'll appreciate it in person, actually. So, hey, where are you
Save it for the
broadcasting
next
from?
show.
Yes, we'll do that
I'm
next show.
in
Where?
Hobbiton.
Oh, wait a minute. You are in Hobbiton. Oh my gosh, are you at a secret location that is about to be revealed sometime very soon?
Let's see if I can show you.
Oh wow, look, they've painted a whole stone garden wall next to the Hobbit hole, and there's all the green of the Shire and the hills. Oh, that is so beautiful. And look at that yellow door. That is perfectly Samwise's door. Tell me something, my friend. Where? Oh, look at that. That looks like Bree. That looks like the village of Bree. If I wouldn't know my locations, it looks like you're somewhere in the Chetwood, somewhere in Breeland. Are you somewhere where there's both little folk and the big folk mixing together in merriment and having a good drink? Is that where you're at, outside the Prancing Pony?
And an occasional graybeard shows up.
An occasional graybeard shows up. I believe it. I'm excited, but I don't think I'm technically allowed to reveal the secret just yet of where you really are. I'm not supposed to say that yet because I'm, I'm honestly tempted. I'm so tempted to tell our audience the truth about where you are right now, but I can't.
Does that sound better? Can you hear me a little bit better?
Yeah. Now? Yeah, that sounds a little bit better now.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. All right.
Hello there. It's so good to see. There's Prince.
I'm in a fun little place. Everyone in the chat room is live. I want to know what everybody got as presents. Tell that's Lord of the Rings.
All right, your sound is going in and out and disappearing again. So let me guess that you were just talking about people talking about what they got for Christmas that is Lord of the Rings related, or what is Tolkien related that you might have gotten for Christmas? Oh, I can tell you that. I'll start that conversation right now. You know what I got? I got a copy of The Fall of Numenor. That was one of the first things that I wanted on my Christmas gift list, and I got one. It's so beautiful. Edited by Brian Sibley. This is so super cool. And I am digging into it, and I'm reading and reading and reading into this and getting to really appreciate the work that went into this. It's so cool. So if you guys are in the live chat, you can tell us, oh, look, say it. Somebody else in the chat, Atalante, you got a copy of The Fall of Numenor? What did you get, Justin? Did you get a Tolkien Christmas gift this year, perhaps?
Oh, my gift was all the adventures.
Your gift was Sell the Adventures. What? You're still trying to plug in your audio to reconnect it, right?
I'm trying to figure out my. It's cutting out, huh? All right. You handle the.
Okay, I'll handle it. Welcome to the show, everybody. It looks like Justin is getting a handle on some of his technical issues, but Princess Toy Nerd says that her brother got her copy of the Silmarillion, the Tolkien Reader, Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, Pearl and Sir Orfeo, and Unfinished Tales. Hello, UT. Anybody in the Tolkien universe, if they see us talking in anagrams where we stick all the abbreviated letters together, it's very recognizable what we're talking about. If someone says FOT, LOTR, we know what that is. When somebody says TTT, right? It's not that you're being titillating or being slightly naughty. It just means the two towers. And ROTK, everybody knows what that means. And certainly the most obvious LOTR. But when someone says UT, seriously, in a conversation with J.R.R. Tolkien, everybody knows that UT is the abbreviation, and they know exactly what they're talking about. Now, we have to have some new ones, okay? We're going to do a little quick review. When Justin comes back, he'll join me. We're going to review some of the really best stuff of 2022. We're going to do a quick year in review of all the awesome stuff. And we have to have some new anagrams for the fall of Numenor, okay? TFON. Tifon, all right? The fall of Numenor. Tifon, TFON, is going to be as familiar in, I'm predicting this right now. You can talk to me about this in a few months and see if the message boards are like doing it, or maybe not. But we also have the nature of Middle Earth, which is going to be N-O-M-E, Gnome, nature of Middle Earth. Right. See? All right, now there's the home, H-O-M-E. Everybody knows that the 12-volume History of Middle Earth is called H-O-M-E. We do it all the time. T-F-O-N sounds an awful lot like Tigger. Yes, Tigger from the Winnie the Pooh, who says ta-ta for now, T-T-F-N. So there's T-F-O-N, T-Fon, we'll make that up. We're making this up too. Gnome, T-Gnome, or just drop the T and make it N-O-M-E for the nature of Middle Earth. An excellent, excellent book. I'm telling you what, if we're going to start with what's the best of the year 2022, this barely gets outside the window because this was published in 2021. All right? So last year, Karl Hofstadter and his amazing Nature of Middle Earth book would have been the best Tolkien title. But now, this year, for my money, this is the best J.R.R. Tolkien related book because it is. This is it. This is amazing. The Fall of Numenor. Best of the year 2022. Okay? Now, that's the first and most obvious award that we're going to give away. Best Tolkien related book that is not directly J.R.R. Tolkien. What would that be? Let's see. Somebody else put out, there was, I'm going to ask everybody in the chat, okay, to give me, Fall of Gondolin hardcover. That's beautiful too. Did that come out this year in 2022? The Fall of Gondolin? Yeah. All right, we'll add that to the list too. Okay. Now, here's the thing. The best of the year is going to include other media, shows, movies, and other cool things, and music. But we just have to start off at the top. The grand prize for Best J.R.R. Tolkien Book of 2022 is this one. Yep, you're right. Thank you very much, Finrod84. The Fall of Gondolin goes back to 2018. But this year, this is my top prize. It is very, very satisfying, deeply satisfying re-editing of all the content that we know about the Second Age and the Fall of Numenor and the Rings of Power. And look at this. No way. It's so good. The Ringverse. Right here. And Brian Sibley's wonderful The Fall of Numenor with new illustrations by Alan Lee. And it's really remarkable. Let me see if I can find another color. If there's a full color. Yeah, wow. Oh my gosh. Look at this. Full color artwork from Alan Lee. Amazing. So amazing. So good. So definitely. This is, hello there, Pipsky. Good to see you. And that's the #1 book. #1 Tolkien related publication that was not directly published by Tolkien's publishers and was not directly his, a Tolkien related publication. Let's see. Would that count? Did someone say the Silmarillion Visual Dictionary? Okay. There was also a brand new edition of the Silmarillion And it was really beautiful. Really, 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 really beautiful stuff. Now let me open up another window. Tolkien related publications. 2022. Thank you, Google, for finding something for me. Yeah, okay. Will there be new, let's see, new Tolkien book, The Fall of Numenor. That's the only one. Yes. There was a republishing, there was a reprint of Robert Foster's Complete Guide to Middle-earth. That's the other one. The best Tolkien-related publication of the year was this reprint, new edition, and I need to mention that as a Tolkien-related publication. Best of the year came out 1st of September of this year, and it is a revisitation of the old original paperback, The Complete Guide to Middle-earth, that Robert Foster had all those decades ago. And let me read a brief snippet from Tolkien Collector's Guide. Big shout out to Tolkien Collector's Guide, okay? This is a peerless A to Z guide to the names and places and events in the world of J.R.R. Tolkien, fully illustrated in color throughout by acclaimed Tolkien artist Ted Naismith. So it is an A to Z sequence of all the key facts and information about all the names and places, languages, and events from The Hobbit, The Lord of the Rings, and The Silmarillion. It is the first and definitive encyclopedia. The Complete Guide to Middle-earth is now reissued to complement the illustrated hardbacks of The Hobbit, Lord of the Rings, Silmarillion, and Unfinished Tales. It is lavishly illustrated with more than 50 full-color paintings by Ted Naismith. So fantastic. So that's the best of the year for 2022. The reissue of Robert Foster's Guide to Middle-earth as a Tolkien-related publication, right next door to this best Tolkien book of the year, hands down. And now let's go on to some other categories in our awards, shall we?
Well, what about the shout out to the reissues of the Lord of the Rings books from Amazon? Got all new covers.
Oh, they're beautiful. Yeah, let me show you the ones they sent me in that beautiful brown box.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Hello. Can you hear me okay? Justin, your sound is gone. Don't hear anything at all. I'm sorry, Justin, my dear boy. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're in the live chat, give me a thumbs up if you can still hear me. And Pipsquet, I send you my condolences and all my heart and all my love to your family and to you, so you can have some peace of mind and know that you are loved and that there is a greater journey. There is a greater journey ahead of us. And I love you, Pipsquet. It's good to have you join us again and be part of our faithful audience and our good friends coming back. So here's this. Now, this was the Houghton Mifflin. This is the Houghton Mifflin 50th anniversary edition of The Lord of the Rings. Paperback, 50th anniversary. Really extraordinary stuff. The complete, all three books in one volume. And I don't believe that this counts as a 2022 edition.
That wasn't this year, was it?
No.
The only one,
Double-checking.
the other new books this year were the Amazon Lord of the Rings covers.
Yeah, I don't have one of those.
Huh.
But this is where it all started, where they said on this this gift, beautiful book. This book was gifted to me, and right here at the appendices, they put in the bookmark that says September September 2, 2022, which is when they were going to start The Rings of Power, which was the first time that those early episodes were broadcast on Prime Video. It was very exciting, very energized conversations with, to say the least. Looking back on it, we were having very energized conversations back then. Fantastic.
We still have energized conversations, don't we?
Yes,
Yes,
of course we do. Now I can hear myself an echo on your audio.
Oh man, I just can't win. Hold on.
It's okay.
Be right back.
I'll let you do the talking. I was going to let him do the talking. Okay, Finrod is asking me who is my very favorite first age elf. Okay, I don't know. I always want to say Feanor. Feanor is my favorite first age elf because it is one of the most interesting times in all of J.R.R. Tolkien that the antagonist or the instigator of difficulty, the antagonist loosely associated with the idea in that narrative that there's an evil versus good, protagonist versus antagonist. But that dichotomy is broken by the introduction of Feanor. And by the time J.R.R. Tolkien has spelled out the doom that follows all the sons of Feanor, you realize that it's not just evil by itself as Morgoth standing there on the sidelines doing his own evil things. You get a great deal of conflict and agitation in the story, not just from the dichotomy of an evil villain against the good guys, but even within the good guys, there's enough pride, discontent, arrogance, and crazy, just enough crazy in the world of the good guys that it breaks away the simplicity of the previous dichotomy. And it becomes very, very interesting to me in that narrative sense that Professor Tolkien wanted to give us a taste of darkness and villainy, but not from Morgoth. He wanted to give us a taste of conflict, negativity, agitation, and a great, great deal of drama and craziness. And it didn't come from the villain that you think. It came from within the group of good guys, within the first age elves. And I just think that's why, to answer your simple question, that's why I think Feanor is one of my most... Is he chaotic neutral? Good question. All right, I want all my Dungeons and Dragons people out there, all of you who are theists, theists for Dungeons and Dragons, let me know if you think that Feanor is chaotic neutral. And I think that might be a close summary. As close as the good guys, the first age elves, I think Feanor has so many layers of complications, and it is very satisfying to read that part of the story. It's always interesting to me. Anyways, oh, and Cecilia is actually going further than me as to say Feanor was not an antagonist. He was the villain. See? All right, there you go. In many, many circles of thought, I would agree in many Tolkien circles, people would actually say that Feanor sometimes crosses the line to be an actual villain instead of what he could have been, the ultimate genius protagonist. But it becomes something else entirely. And just like Tolkien, he's giving us a cautionary fable, a real cautionary fable about Feanor. Okay, now on to the other best. What's best in 2022? I have a list. Okay, and as soon as Justin gets a chance to fix his audio, he might come back in and join us. Yeah, I know of Gondor. I know what you mean. He is the small pebble that starts an avalanche. Yes. I know. Now, let's look at our list. What is it? The year in review. Okay, what is the best of 2022? All right. Okay. Best film of the year goes to ba-ba-bum. Or do you want to start with the television categories? All right. You want to do TV categories first? All right. We did books. Best Tolkien related book is the Robert Foster reissue of The Complete Guide to Middle-earth. That's the best Tolkien related title. This is the best specific Tolkien title. This is it, The Fall of Numenor, best of the year. You want to do best television? All right, we'll do best categories of television. All right. Best music. Best music of the year is, to some, it is a tie between The Rings of Power, okay, Bear McCreary, and Andor. Okay, I don't know if people are going to start fighting with people about that. All right, the Andor music composer, what was his name? Who does the music for Andor? That would be Nicholas
Goranson.
Britell. All right, Nicholas Britell, and I don't know. Hello there.
Hi.
Justin, welcome back to the show.
Hello, hello. Hi. Glad to be here.
Hey, wow, I can hear all the background music. That's wild. Okay, so people say best music of the year is hands down Bear McCreary. Okay, and all right, okay. Best music of the year for some people, it depends upon where you're at. It's a tie between Bertel and McCreary, but we can't have ties. So if we're just going to have one winner, then we're going to have the best music of the year go to Rings of Power, Bear McCreary, and an honorable mention to Andor. Okay, that would be to. I'm just trying to get you guys riled up. Nicholas Bertel. Okay. Best.
Let me ask you this. Let's not compare Rings of Power to the movies. Rings of Power, Bear McCreary's score is still more cinematic than almost every other TV show out there. His score
Absolutely.
is movie quality, and no other TV show, Witcher or Andor or anything, felt like a cinematic score.
That is true. That is very true. And I actually agree with that. Thank you 100% for saying that. But also, just to correct the record, I was not comparing Bear McCreary's score to any previous music from the 6 Middle-earth films. I was just saying that I've been hearing a lot of buzz and a lot of talk. But we're moving on. Moving on. Okay.
House of the Dragon had some good music, but it wasn't as cinematic as Rings of Power. And the editors on Rings of Power really leaned in to Bear McCreary's score. And he had an impossible task of following up the Oscar-winning, Grammy-winning soundtracks of The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings by Howard Shore. What an impossible task, and Bear stepped up and he did it. And it's actually one of the few things in the show that I think really matched, the quality and the effort of what comes before. Someone in the chat room said Obi-Wan's soundtrack was terrible. Again, we all thought great things with Obi-Wan's soundtrack. John Williams was going to do the main theme, but as we reported here, we were the ones that scooped John Williams being on Obi-Wan's soundtrack, and they went through 6 different composers, different composers on Obi-Wan. So there's a reason it doesn't sound as cohesive and it wasn't as great. And I want to credit Rings of Power for committing to one composer, Bear McCreary.
Absolutely. I agree with that, and I appreciate that sentiment because, Obi-Wan Kenobi is an interesting, powerful contrast to what happened with Bear McCreary as a singular musical vision, while on the producers of Obi-Wan Kenobi couldn't get a handle on anything. And they obviously had trouble. They had trouble making up their minds, and they couldn't figure it out. So extra gold star to Bear McCreary for being the powerhouse musical source and making it so cinematic and so beautiful. Okay, best production design goes to best production design of the year of 2022. It goes to The Rings of Power. Okay, The Rings of Power gets hands down best production design. Okay, let's compare. There were some other really remarkable shows this year on streaming that did some really cool things with production design. And I'm looking at you, Foundation. Okay, you can complain about the adaptation and the quality of that, but the production design of Rings of Power, the production design of The Sandman was particularly good, especially when we were, able to, materialize ourselves in the real world and then materialize in the dreaming world. But production design, I think, hands down, has to go to the Rings of Power. And there should be another honorable mention to the House of the Dragon. Okay? Just because of the way that they returned us to a very familiar Westeros. So best production design, Rings of Power. And also, isn't there a Star Wars connection? Yes. Yep, there's a Star Wars connection. What was his name? Justin, come back on. It was Bill. Was it Bill Heinrichs, who was the production designer on The Last Jedi?
Rick Heinrichs was he's also done a lot of some of the greatest films out there, and we were really lucky to have Rick Heinrichs on Rings of Power early on, and then he left the show.
And then he left the show. That's right.
The production designer Rick Heinrichs left Rings of Power. Who knows why? Maybe he got another job. Maybe COVID. Maybe he didn't get along. Maybe it was creative differences. But he left the show and he went and did Glass Onion.
And then he went and did Glass Onion. Okay. Yeah. Otaku Senpai. I hear you. Okay. We're talking about best production design, and so now we're going to move on to best cinematography. Okay. Yeah, wherever Justin is, it's very loud and busy. So that's why he's only dropping in for little bombs of commentary and coming back out. But you have to imagine how much work that it took to sustain the artistry that was on display in the Rings of Power, and also The Sandman, like you were talking about, in terms of production design, with COVID going on, with everything crazy. It's amazing that any of these productions got anything done at all. I'm really impressed that any of these productions got anything done at all. So my hat's off. My hat is off, and no one needs to see any more of that shiny bald head. But hey, I'm too sexy for my hat. My hat's off to all the hardworking technical crew and best cinematography. Okay. Some people would say, in terms of television, that Stranger Things is a big competitor in cinematography. Okay. Netflix's Wednesday, which is all Tim Burton doing his thing. But also, what else was really, really visually remarkable this year? In terms of cinematography, I still think that the best of the year has to go to Rings of Power. And that is because of the deliberate, beautiful, and deliberate painterly constructions of so many of the shots, so many of the effect shots.
Cinematography,
and the look, the capturing the photo, and the quality of light in New Zealand, the quality of light in those photos. I
feel we didn't get enough of New Zealand here. A lot of people watched Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit during holiday break, and so it's fresh on a lot of people's minds. And I don't know, I saw more of New Zealand in the first 20 minutes of Fellowship and the first 20 minutes of Two Towers than I feel like we saw in 8 hours of Rings of Power. But that said, stuff like Wednesday and The Witcher, like it's justifiably, like, it looks kind of television. Like the cinematography, I don't know if it's the lighting. Even Willow, I love Willow, but it looks like a TV show. It looks like something that should be on the CW or ABC network. Like it just feels flat. The cinematography on Rings of Power, beautiful, cinematic. It looks like it
Yes.
should.
Yep, absolutely. Hey, Justin, before you go back offline, what do you think about um, the production design of Andor and all the stuff on the prison planet, where it is a very much a visual nod to the earlier George Lucas film THX 1138? What do you think about the idea of the production design that Andor put out there, um, which did a lot less use of the volume, that specialized volume projection set that they have now for The Mandalorian and for the Book of Boba Fett? But they used it so extensively on the Obi-Wan Kenobi limited series. Don't you think that the Andor people did a better job of making Ferrix and the locations on Coruscant look better and a bit different than the heavy reliance on the volume for the previous shows?
Yeah, look. First off, Andy Serkis. Andor gave us Andy Serkis, so all credit
In
to
full
Andor.
glory. In full glory. Yeah.
That is Andy Serkis, not under a costume or a mask or an ape or Gollum. That was Andy Serkis acting his butt off, and just the nods to all of the movies that have come before. It was really well designed. You really did get a sense that Coruscant looked and felt different than the prison planet, than Andor's planet, than Tatooine. Every single location in Andor felt completely different, a different class structure, a different history. And I feel I was expecting, and this is again, fans bring their own baggage to shows. I was expecting Rings of Power to have a little more variance in the production design. I don't feel that Numenor is the great shining city that I was promised. I wasn't impressed. Like nothing in Numenor was just like ooh wow. Like I remember for 2 movies they told us 20 years ago. For 2 movies they told us about the White City and the White Tree atop the White City, and we got glimpses of it, but we never really saw it. And then when we see it, and Gandalf and Aragorn come Gandalf and Pippin come, or Merry, no Pippin come riding up above that thing, and you see the White City for the first time in the big screen in the theater. It just felt magic, and Numenor is supposed to be greater and more magical than Gondor, and Gondor is supposed to be a bad ripoff, inspired by Numenor. I didn't get the feeling. That is my personal opinion. That's my own fan baggage being put on the show. That's I feel like sometimes that's unfair. But then you watch Andor, and you're like, that is amazing. That is what my mind's eye remembers, and that is Coruscant.
Yes.
Yes. As I pictured it, a bunch of rich people, you know. And the fact that Andor took us back into the Senate chambers, this is all movie stuff. So that's my personal opinion of Gondor. The chat room is reacting to this. Are you guys getting what I'm trying to say? I don't know. Chat room, do you feel the same way I do?
Yeah, I totally get what he's saying. I totally get it. There is you guys of Gondor is totally with you on there. But then there's much more to come. You have to be patient with a season 1 type of structure. And I guess we learned the hard way. When it comes to season 1 and the way that they have to set things up and the way that you have to wait and wait and wait until things are more paid off, season 1 is, like most television endeavors, filled with a lot of setup. And yes, Finrod, you have a good point. I think a lot of fans' problems is that our expectations were so high, nothing can match what we want in our mind.
I can tell you, the OneRing.net was there. The expectations of Fellowship were infinitely higher,
Yes.
and within 20 seconds, of Fellowship of the Ring, we all said, "We're there. He's got it." Within 10 minutes of Fellowship of the Ring, when we finally see the Shire after that prologue, we're
Yes.
like, "Ah, this is it." I never got that. I never fully got the feeling from Rings of Power. But a couple of people in the chat room are saying they're watching Willow. I'm watching Willow too. And guys, Willow is what I thought Rings of Power would feel like. And I know, Cliff, you and I argued and debated for the last 3 years of what you wanted out of the show, what I wanted the show. I wanted a CW show. I wanted Riverdale and Rivendell. I wanted Galadriel and Sauron to hook up. I want all the juicy gossip of a young Elrond and a young Galadriel dating different people, finding their way in the universe, and Willow gives me that. Willow is almost everything I expected Rings of Power to be.
Oh my God.
Kind of cheesy. It knows what it is. It's kind of cheesy. There's a magic spell each episode. I don't know. Like, Willow is scratching an itch that I thought Rings of Power would do. Is Rings of Power worse because of that, or better because of that? I'll let the fans decide.
Well, all right. Yeah, you let the fans decide, and I will also try to breathe life into a counter argument against everything that you just said. Okay, for years now, you, Justin, have constantly said you want a CW style of show, like Riverdale, Archie, Veronica, and Betty and Jughead. Riverdale, in the hidden city of Imladris, Rivendell. No. All I can say is no. You might want that, but I don't think any of the rest of us wanted that. And I'm kind of grateful that the first season of the Rings of Power distinguishes itself for not doing that. And let Willow go ahead and be Willow. That's fine. Let the new series of Willow bring you all that satisfaction. That's great. I love it. That's fine. That's fine. But for my money, I just kind of like the fact that that didn't happen. Now, on to the other categories of Best of 2022. We had done Best Cinematography and Best Production Design. We did Best Music. Okay. And now we're going to do Best Casting. Best Casting goes to House of the Dragon for Best Casting of Actors. But you know what? That is something worth debate because, I don't know, there's some really great casting in the Rings of Power and the Sandman. But yeah, Best Casting goes to House of the Dragon. Best Visual Effects. Okay, that's a good...
Hang on. The only reason I want to explain... The main reason that House of Dragon got bonus points over Rings of Power, because Rings of Power has a powerhouse of a cast, is...
Oh, of course.
Yes, House of Dragon knew exactly what you need to be a successful show in the pop culture landscape, and they strategically cast well-known actors. Matt Smith inspired casting. Changing it was what a big risk to have a timeline jump in the middle of the first season and change your actress midway through the first season on House of Dragon, but they found an amazing cast that with just enough star power that people were like, you know what, I'm gonna give this a shot because Matt Smith being a Targaryen seems juicy, and sure enough, it was very, very juicy.
Yep. I agree. Okay, very good. Thank you for that excellent assessment. Okay, now, best series juggling multiple story arcs. Okay, this is not your typical category that you would have at the Independent Spirit Awards, and it is not something you'd have at the Primetime Emmy Awards. This is something that theonering.net just made up. Okay, we made this up, and the category is best series juggling multiple story arcs at the same time, and that award goes to Netflix's The Sandman. Because The Sandman is juggling multiple storylines out of different multiple story arc adaptations of graphic novels that are combined and synthesized into one season. One season, multiple graphic novel story arcs, including Preludes and Nocturnes and The Doll's House. And then there was a bonus episode, a completely unconnected, brilliant, multiple story arc bounce that was an extra episode at the end, introducing more intriguing relatedness with the characters and the three fates, the mother, maiden, and crone, and the animated segment, beautifully animated, much in the spirit of having an animated segment in the middle of a Harry Potter film where Hermione tells the story of the three brothers and the Deathly Hallows and how they cheat death. Well, The Sandman jumped completely to a whole different separate animated story arc, and that was the dream of 1,000 cats.
That's right.
1,000 cats.
Dan Bites in the chat room says, Rings of Power needed that star power, felt too foreign. I agree. For regular people, and I got asked this a lot at Christmas time this last week. It's like, hey, should we watch that Rings of Power show? I've heard a lot of negative stuff about it. I've heard a lot of mediocre stuff about it. And honestly, like, it needed that star power because, like it or not, you can't escape the fact if you're a $1 billion show and you want to be the cultural touchstone of all culture right now, you need having a big star attached implies that this is worth watching because some big star said yes to do this show and is bringing it.
Yep. Absolutely.
So, who was that on Lord of the Rings? It was Hugo Weaving, fresh off his Matrix. It was Ian McKellen, fresh off his Oscar. It was Christopher Lee, a legend in his own time. Look what they did with Brad Dourif. I mean,
yes,
Lord of the Rings strategically cast some of the most important character actors of any generation, and it's striking watching some of the behind the scenes features this week from with Brad Dourif playing behind the scenes. And like he's just a regular guy. He's just like, I'll show you what a 57 Magnum can do to your back. I don't know nothing about these knives. And then you watch the performance. He is Wormtongue, period. But then when the camera's shut off, he is Brad Dourif. So I feel like I still feel like Rings of Power could right the ship and get a big actor, right the ship and get a big actor. That's what I want. But as far as multiple storylines, Cliff, no one does it better than Neil Gaiman. I'm really excited that Neil Gaiman's next 2 shows are going to be with Amazon Prime. Neil Gaiman is deep in the Amazon Prime ecosystem, and Twitter wants...
Yeah, a second season of Good Omens, and then his adaptation of Anansi Boys, which would be really remarkable. Looking forward to that.
Anansi Boys with Lenny Henry from Rings of Power. Yeah, so there is a lot of cross-pollination between Neil Gaiman and Rings of Power. And of course, Season 2, one of the directors of Season 2 Rings of Power directed 3 episodes of Neil Gaiman's The Sandman, which you just said is one of the best multi-storyline shows. So we are so privileged and lucky that Season 2 might be correcting course by hiring some of the show people that you really like. And you know what, Amazon, whatever it takes, put Neil Gaiman in the writer's room of Rings of Power. Just do it.
Yes. Great idea. What a great idea. That's That's a brilliant idea. I'm gonna agree wholeheartedly with you, Justin, on that. It's a brilliant idea. What a great idea. So now let's go on to Best Actor and Best Actress of the Year in Television Series. I'm gonna need Justin to come back in here, and we could do Best Supporting categories. First, let's do Best Supporting Actress, okay? And Best Supporting Actor of the Year, okay? Now, for my money, I think that the Best Supporting Actress of the Year is going to go to Kirby Howell Baptiste, who plays Death of the Endless on the Sandman series. There's something so amazing and gentle and extraordinarily beautiful about the way she personifies death itself. And it's so cool. It's just beautiful, really beautiful, and brief enough of an appearance to make you definitely want to see more. Now, Best Supporting Actor, okay? Best Supporting Actor in a series this year. I think that it's going to be really sort of Owain Arthur. This is his game to lose, okay? I think Best Supporting Actor is going to go to Owain Arthur for playing Prince Durin in The Rings of Power. He is so awesome at it. He brings such spice and energy and such dwarven vitality to what he is doing. All right, Justin, what do you think of our Best Supporting Actor and Best Supporting Actress so far?
My question to you is, Cliff, my limited understanding of the 19 Rings of Power that are about to be distributed are 7 went to the Dwarf Lords.
Yep.
Does Tolkien ever give weight to one of the 7?
No.
So there is no like this one of the 7 was a bigger fail than the other 7. There's no hierarchy of
No,
of the fallen of the Dwarf Lords. My concern is, in a show called Rings of Power that is about Rings of Power, the making of the Rings of Power, the distribution of the Rings of Power, and the corruption of the Rings of Power, why have we only met one of the 7? And don't tell me that Durin is not one of the 7. Is he one of the 7?
I don't think so. I think his father, looking at how grumpy his father is portrayed, I think that his father might be one of the recipients. At least the way the Rings of Power is going right now, that's what it seems like. Really. What do you think?
I hadn't considered that until right now, as you said it.
Right.
That is an interesting thing, and this brings up another point that I guess this brings up another point. HBO recently took away Westworld. So before they took Westworld off HBO Max, I rewatched season 1. I actually rewatched most of the show, 4 seasons of Westworld. And Cliff, I've picked up on many things in Westworld that make me realize the multiple timelines and the multiple storylines at play imply that there are different timelines going on in season 1. So I wonder, like in Westworld, we don't know that certain scenes that are happening are actually before a thing is revealed, and he is that and she is that. So to your point, I wonder if the big reveal in season 2 is going to be that most of the rings have already been made. The 3 elven rings really were the last 3 rings that were made. We don't know that yet. And Sauron has already corrupted everybody.
Wow.
And the corruption is not an overnight thing. And the next 4 seasons are going to be showing the slow process of corruption. And maybe, just maybe, Durin, old Durin, Pappy Durin, is already under the control. But my issue with Owain Arthur as a supporting cast member is there should be 7 Owains.
Yep.
Where's the rest?
Where are the other dwarf lords? We don't know yet. That's a very good point. What an interesting side point. There should be 7 Owain Arthurs, but that is a lot of dwarf lords to introduce in a lot of time. And they're setting up things step by step. It's incrementalism, you could say, in terms of the writing on a television series. It's incremental, okay? But I would say, yes, I hear your point, and I understand that. Okay, so Best Supporting Actress goes to Kirby Howell-Baptiste. You may remember her from Cruella. She was Cruella's friend in college, who was a journalist, the newspaper writer, and she got to appear at the very, very end of Cruella, accepting at her doorstep the beautiful little puppy Dalmatian. But she went on to get cast as Death of the Endless in the Sandman series. Best Supporting Actress. Best Supporting Actor of 2022 to Owain Arthur for Prince Doran IV. Okay, leading actors and actress. Best of the year in 2022. I would agree with the prevalent opinion that Korean actor who won for Squid Game is absolutely fantastic. Lee Jung-jae, who won for Squid Game. I would still concur with the fact that he did win the Emmy Award for Best Actor at the 2022 Emmys. That I think he's still the best actor of the year. And so Best Actress, okay? I would open this up to some conversation with our friends in the live chat. So if you're with us right now on Torn Tuesday, I can see you in the YouTube and the Facebook and Twitch and Twitter. If you think that you have, and I think I might get close to Best Lead Actress of the year for all of television in 2022, and I'm not sure, but if I had to put my money down, I would say that I think that I was.
Your hesitation is the answer. Is questionable, Cliff. What would it have taken for Galadriel to be the quick answer for you? What was lacking from Galadriel that you're not saying Galadriel, Morfydd Clark?
Something besides a binary choice. Something besides giving her binary choices.
What does that mean?
That means that she had a choice to stay on the boat or jump off the boat. It was a binary choice. Something like, she gets caught up in Numenor, and instead of being part of what's going on in Numenor, she makes a binary choice. She wants to immediately leave and go seek her revenge against Sauron. And if there had been more depth of choices, and maybe more options for her to have more layers of possibility, that would have offered a multi-dimensional characterization that would have been more interesting. But it was what it was, I guess.
Interesting, Cliff. Some of our friends here at the One Ring, so some of your favorite YouTubers and TikTokers have recently been asking me offline, and I won't name names, but they've been asking, does Morfydd Clark have the skill required for the characterization in your head? The characterization that you want, that Galadriel deserves. Can Morfydd Clark pull it off? My answer was yes. If you've seen her in Saint Maud, if you've seen her in anything else, she is Kate Blanchett at the cusp of Kate Blanchett's level of acting, prowess, success, award-winning. But she was, I feel, Morfydd, the actress, was done a disservice by poor writing and poor directing.
That might be it. That might be all there is to it. But yes, I believe she's capable of delivering all the goods. All the goods, absolutely. All right, best actor.
Adelante says Nori in Nori the Hobbit, the Harfoot. I can't, man. Nori is its own complication. I can't give anything to. I can't do that. Like they did the Harfoots dirty on this show. The one race that Tolkien actually describes as browner of skin. It's canon. It's in the text. It's in Fellowship of the Ring in the prologue. The indefensible, no questions asked. Browner of skin Harfoots. And who is the main Harfoot that they put on camera? The little white girl. It is not true to Tolkien, and it's not. And that's how they end the Harfoot story. Like the little white girl goes off with the wizard, like Gandalf. Like, come on, this is the one race of people in Middle Earth that Tolkien says browner of skin, and you miscast those Harfoots. You miscast that Harfoot. Never mind that you killed my favorite actor, Lenny Henry. Never mind that. That just personally offended me. But it was just a terrible miscasting of the little girl Harfoots, and I can't get over it. It's just bad casting. It's not true to Tolkien, and it was poor for the performance was wonderful, and the actresses are great, but they were wrong for the role.
I hear you. I hear you loud and clear, buddy. Well, Best Actress of the Year, which, shouldn't really have that much hesitation, but there were some really great options. And, between Imelda Staunton, and everybody remembers Imelda Staunton from the Harry Potter films, as Professor Dolores Umbridge. Well, she wasn't a professor. I think she was just a headmaster, temporary headmaster, Dolores Umbridge. But I think that Best Actress of the Year could go to Morfydd Clark next year for another future season. Yes, if there is more evolution in the writing and in the process and adding multi-layers to these characters instead of just giving them binary choices. And yeah, all that stuff about miscasting the Harfoots, that's a whole nother show. But I guess Best Actor of the Year, was going to go to Best Lead Actor of the Year was going to go to already said his name.
Sandman.
Best Actor of the Year?
I love the Sandman guy.
Wait, hold on. You're telling me that you're a fan? That you're a fan?
The show was so good.
Tom Sturridge? I didn't know you were a fan.
I don't know who Tom is. I like the Sandman. He was perfect. His voice, I melted into my seat when he started speaking.
Tom Sturridge, yes. I think that Tom Sturridge was fantastic. I already gave the Best Supporting Actress category to Kirby Howell-Baptiste, but yes, Tom Sturridge was brilliant. But I think Best Supporting Actor of the Year, I love Owain Arthur, but I know that Andy Serkis is going to get a mention next year at the Emmys next year for Andor. Andy Serkis will get nominated for Best Supporting Actor. Okay, but Best Lead Actress of the Year, if it's not going to be Imelda Staunton, then it might as well be Emma Darcy. Okay, so Imelda Staunton is in The Crown, playing Queen Elizabeth II, who recently passed away, and her portrayal as Queen Elizabeth II is amazing. But I think you get the most bang for your buck with Emma Darcy, even though she was only in the later episodes, not the entirety of season 1. Game of Thrones was split between her younger self and Emma Darcy played the much older version. Yes, Tom Sturridge. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. So, all right. That's our best actors and best actresses. And in supporting categories, we did them too for the year.
I think
Now,
we have time for like one or two more.
well,
Like,
this is it. The last one. Best writing. Best writing of the year for the best written television series goes to Star Wars Andor.
yeah,
The best writing.
what is that? Tony Gilroy? Tony Gilroy?
It's all Tony Gilroy, and I'm sorry, Westworld. I'm sorry, Rings of Power. I'm sorry, Severance. I'm sorry, Severance. I'm sorry, everybody else. Best writing of the year goes to Star Wars Andor. It's that simple.
It's that simple. Tony Gilroy, again, incredible writer.
Yes.
I don't put Rings of Power writing in the top 10 at all. Rings of Power is wonderful and a class-leading show in many aspects, but the most important one to fans is writing. The most important one to fans is writing. And
What's that? Say it again for the people in the back.
the most important thing to
Yes.
fans is the writing.
Yeah.
So I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. But
I don't know
look,
either.
good writing would have brought us to a point where we would be okay with the Mithril thing, and we would be
Yeah.
okay with some of
Yeah,
these
yeah.
changes. And
Yeah,
Celeborn,
yeah.
what's his name? Celeborn being dead, like, right? So
Or I haven't seen him since, right?
Right. So we would be okay with that, but you have to take us there. You have to get us there and make
Yep.
it really appropriately make
Yeah.
sense. And this cop out to say, well, rumors and myths are just rumors and myths, and I wouldn't trust the showrunner saying after the fact, oh, I wouldn't trust that line of dialogue. Well, if we're not supposed to trust that line of dialogue, then why did you decide to put it in there? You big liars. Lying liars and the liars that lie. If that Mithril thing turns out to be a nothing burger,
Yeah.
you're a liar.
Oh
Why
my
you put
gosh.
lies in our show? Tolkien doesn't lie to us. Tolkien does not lie to his body.
That's true. That's true. All right. If you know, there was one category we might have overlooked. If you think special visual effects is between Stranger Things 4 and The Rings of Power, who would be the
They're
better?
equal. They're equal. I can't choose there. Obviously, I have an affinity
Okay.
for Weta, and I would give it to my boys at Weta and women at Weta. But Finrod says hashtag not okay with Halbrand. Look, I'm okay with Halbrand, especially if it comes to find out that they don't have the Amazon does not have rights to does not have rights to Silmarillion. Maybe they don't have rights to Anatar. Maybe they had to come up with a new name. Maybe we will never see Lil Annie on this show. Maybe Anatar is just a name that they don't have access to and they can't explore fully, so they had to create something. That's fine.
Yep.
That's fine. And as I said earlier in the show, I looked forward to the Sauron Galadriel relationship, and I feel like they set it up to be everything I wanted, and then somehow they backed off of it.
Yep.
I don't know. I'm at this point, Cliff. You would call it sacrilege. Let me ask you this: based on the show that we got,
Sacrilege.
based on the show that we actually got, do you think
Yes.
it would have benefited if Sauron and Galadriel hugged or kissed?
No, that would be devastating, and that would be everything bad all at once. Everything bad all at once.
Really?
Yep.
I feel like they set up an emotional connection already.
Yeah, that might make their bitter fight more interesting, but it's only going to make the bitterness between them more interesting. All right. So
Fair enough.
we do have one last category before we end our show, looking at our best of 2022, and that would be the best motion picture of the year, right? And guess what? We're
Avatar.
not going to talk about television right now, but the best picture of the year, I was suddenly reminded of that because I was making a slight joke on the title. Okay, I can see you, Otaku Senpai. I can see you, and Monica. Yes, I can see you guys. You better tell Justin to get over that nonsense. I'm sorry, Finrod. 84. But the best picture of the year goes to Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. That's it. Boom. Hands down, best picture of the year.
Avatar: The Way of the Water.
Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. Watch.
Avatar: The Way of the Water. Watch it in 3D, high frame rate, multiple frame rates. People in the chat room, did you see it this weekend? Did I steer you right? Did you enjoy what you saw? It's life-changing.
Nope, hands down. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. And I'm going to stand on that hill and then die on that hill. That's right, I'm going to die on it. So it is now time to sign off and say thank you for spending your holidays with us. Before we go, we got other categories. Best board game of the year. That's one last best of the year, and that would be Star Wars Villainous. This is the best board game published in 2022. It is so beautiful and cool to play Darth Vader and how he tries to get his ambitious plans in place, and to have his son meet with him in the Emperor's throne room and turn him to the dark side. Or if you play General Grievous, you have to kill all the Jedi and steal their lightsabers. Or if you play Moff Gideon, you have to capture poor Grogu and do experiments on him. It's terrible, but that's the point. You're the villain. You are the villain, and you get to be the Star Wars villain. And it's the best board game of the year. If you get
my predictions, best picture nominations will be Top Gun: Maverick, Avatar: Way of the Water, Everything Everywhere All at Once. I think best director goes to Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Okay.
I think best picture, it is a toss-up between Top Gun and Avatar. I think Tom Cruise and the whole team deserve the best picture for Top Gun Maverick. Boy, oh boy, did that keep me on my seat. That is how you make a movie.
Okay, well, sure. You know, I'm much.
And Wakanda. Wakanda will get a best picture nod, and it might deserve it.
Well, yeah, Wakanda Forever was beautifully done. I also think that we should be looking at a couple of other standout feature films, like that are really, really impressive this year. The Northman. The Northman was amazing. All right, and look and see. Yeah, it was. Oh, come on. And so was The Menu. The Menu was brilliant. If you haven't seen it, really brilliant. It's horror satire.
And Kate Blanchett in Tar. Fantastic.
Oh, yes. And you know what? Most of the people who are not paying attention are going to overlook, and they should not overlook, Kate Blanchett in the movie Tar, which is also a big-time Best Picture nominee. And that might surprise some people as the top winner of the year.
Yeah, I wish more movies would take an example from Top Gun Maverick and just be a good, thrilling movie. And I feel like Rings of Power just wasn't there as far as good and thrilling. Like, I don't know. There were so many characters and so many storylines that I didn't really get time to go deep with any of them. So I didn't really care enough. Like, when the thing exploded, I want the orcs to win at this point. They deserve their own land. like the explosion of the volcano was a good thing, and I don't know if that's the intention of the filmmakers, because that's how it came to be. Anyway, Cliff, this is a great list. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, sir, for coming and joining us. And I want to say thank you, Justin, for helping put this show together while you're behind the hidden trap door of Scum and Villainy Cantina. You are behind the walls. You're totally behind the trap door, pulling all the levers. Like, don't pay attention to that little man behind the curtain. It was perfect that you were hiding back there in the audio-visual room. Something quite poetic and funny about that. So thank you. At year's end, most of all, I want to look back on the year of 2022, and I look back on all the wonderful people who are in my life, and that certainly includes all of you. You are the most generous audience and the most wonderful visitors to our website. And we wouldn't be the same without you. We would not have a sense of community without all of you. We would not have all of these years and years of wonderful stuff going on to energize our conversations and our debates about J.R.R. Tolkien and how much we love the world of Middle-earth, the world of Arda, and all the stories within Arda. So it's been a fantastic year, everybody. I can't believe there's been so much excitement and build-up and the wonderful execution and wonderful presentation of the Rings of Power, and how much we got to talk about it and fall in love with it and bitch and complain about it. We all got to do all of the above, and we did that in the most wonderful way with all of you as friends and comrades and people together, having a wonderful experience as Tolkien fans. All of you are considered extended family, and so I thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I also say, yeah, we all love complaining about it, but secretly we loved going back to Middle-earth, right? I don't care how much you'll hear me or Justin or anybody else, pissing and moaning about something in season 1 of the Rings of Power, but there's so much more to come, so much more excitement, and you cannot deny, to the credit of J.D. Payne and Patrick McKay, and to the credit of the directors, the showrunners, and the hardworking cast and the crew, everybody who shared their energy and their time with us in 2022, we thank you. Thank you for a great ride. It was a really fantastic and interesting ride to get back and to go into Middle-earth and to kind of get readjusted to Middle-earth through the tropes and the idiomatic expressions of television, which is a different ball of wax for all of us. So it's been really cool, and we got acclimated to it. We're all getting used to it. But whatever happens next, there's so much more to come. A lot more excitement and adventure as we go outside of our door and take the road that leads us on to paths wide and paths narrow, unused and unknown, and some well-trodden and well-known. So all kinds of possibilities in front of us for a new year, 2023. A very happy new year as we look at all new possibilities. We're going to be rooting and cheering on the Rings of Power production team from afar. We will be taking our time to wax poetical as we do. We are that kind of fandom. But still, I want all the writers and the actors and the carpenters and the people in the greens department and all the people painting the miniatures and doing all the visual effects, and to Bear McCreary and all the hardworking musicians in the orchestra, everybody on the team, from the costumes right on down to the pixels that are digitally graded by color, bit by zeros and ones and zeros and ones. All of you people out there working on the world of Middle-earth, thank you. Thank you. Because you've brought us all together to have a much more invigorated conversation about it. And book sales are up, improving. The more people that we bring into the world of J.R.R. Tolkien, the better it is. So, lots of excitement to come. You guys enjoy all of your New Year's celebrations. Stay warm and stay safe, okay? Take good care of yourselves. And this is our last sign-off, closing out a magnificent year on Torn Tuesday, your once-a-week live stream destination. This is it. Every 5 o'clock Pacific time on Tuesday. You know where you can join us for more mischief and mayhem and, Green Dragon gossip. We have plenty of that too. So we'll see you next year in 2023, and we will be healthy and well, and we'll be taking good care of ourselves. I promise you that. When in doubt, Mariadoc, or should I say, when in doubt, Harfoots, always follow your nose. Right? All right. Well, then it's time for us to say good night and good luck. Or better yet, as I love to say, buenos noches y buena suerte. Talk to you next year. Bye.